studios. This is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Hey now.
Hello, friends.
We're kind of sing-songy off the top
Hello. Which reminds me of that story you had in our show today, which I don't think we have in the schedule here lineup to talk about. The Uber.
Oh, the Uber.
The chick?
Yeah. There's an Uber driver in Florida who's going viral because when you get in her Uber, there's a tablet in the back. You pick a song that you want from her Uber playlist or from her Spotify playlist, and the lyrics show up on the tablet in front of you in the back, and she fully expects a karaoke show while she's driving you around.
I think that she does it because she likes to sing. That's my guess, right? I mean, this is probably someone who likes to sing out loud. Have you ever met those people? You know, I was in a dollar store last week, okay? I was in like a Dollarama, and someone who worked there, I thought someone else was in the aisle with her because she was talking to herself. And that's fine. I talk to myself occasionally.
Me
right?
too.
I
A
talk
lot.
All the time.
More than
that's
I
fine.
should.
I think it's actually kind of normal. But it wasn't just that. She'd start to just break out into song, and it was a really obscure song. It was like from a movie. I forget what it was, but she just started singing it, and she was just like, and I went to the next aisle where she was, fully expecting there to be like a friend there with her. She was just working, stocking the shelf, having the best fucking time.
Good.
Talking to herself like, this shouldn't go there. It shouldn't go there. She just like fucking singing to herself. That's the kind of person that would do this. And I thought, yep, I know those kinds of people. So can't blame someone for trying to have a little bit of fun while they're working, like this Uber driver's trying to do. But it just depends on who you have in the car with you, because some people are not about it.
I would lose my ever-living shit.
You're not about it.
If she said to me, hey, pick a song from the playlist, and then the lyrics will show up on the tablet, and then you can do karaoke, I'd say, get me another car, because I am not doing karaoke with you.
What if she said, half price if you sing with me along this ride? And it was only like a 10-minute ride.
Then we're choosing Don't Stop Believing.
Then it will happen.
For half off.
Save the money, sing the song.
Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. We are going to talk more about Father's Day as we get closer to it.
Yeah.
But we will talk about it a little bit in this episode of After 9. We're going to talk again about, they're going to do the capital gains thing today. We're going to talk about the border strike. And first, I want to get to alcohol because I could use a drink right now.
We won't tell you what time we're recording this at, but it's still the AM.
When you work in the morning, though, it's okay if you get home from work at, say, the noon. Crack a couple of beers, isn't it?
Noon's not bad, but I don't know. It depends.
What about those days when we piss off early? Or like, say, 11. Can I crack a few beers?
I feel like, you can. Absolutely. I would never do it unless it's like a Friday on a weekday. It just feels weird for me. I wouldn't do it.
See,
No.
I might not do it on a weekday either, but only because fucking hangovers hit me so hard now.
Really?
You know, that's one of the shitty things about growing older. You hear all the stories about, you'll lose your hair or it'll go gray and your back will hurt and your knees will hurt and your hips will hurt. What they should warn you about is that you won't be able to drink as much as you used to. That's the big fucking problem.
Right.
But anyway, let's talk about alcohol. A group of mixologists in America have come up with a list that they say is definitive. The top 10 drinks you do not want to order in a busy bar. You know, there's those regular bars. Sometimes even the busy bars have down periods, and you could probably get away with some of these then. But when the bar is hopping, certain drinks you don't want to order. You ready?
I'm ready.
There's nothing like a good Long Island iced tea on a hot day, but don't even think about it when the bartender is busy.
Yeah. Do people realize that they usually, if you're ordering it from a bar, it's not like they're going to give it to you in a can. Like, I mean, unless they have like an already made one, don't do that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. That's okay. It's not crazy in comparison to other drinks that you could be making, but there's a little more to it than people think. I think
They say it's just too many ingredients. Sometimes the bartenders forget all the ingredients.
it's like all the hard alcohols in one: vodka, tequila, rum, and then you got triple sec, gin, cola. I mean, there's a lot in there. It's a lot of things, a lot of opening to do, a lot of pouring to do, a lot of measuring to do.
A lot of rookie drinkers will go for something like a Long Island iced tea because they can't taste the alcohol. And if that's you, fine. But the drinks where you can't taste the alcohol are the ones that are the most dangerous. That's when you're going to end up with your fucking underwear off, running around trying to figure out which Uber offers karaoke.
It's true. Trust me. Trust me. I used to drink Long Island iced teas. It wasn't a good time.
The mojito.
A mojito. Okay, so this has to do with the fact that you gotta do the mint, the full 9. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, they say mojitos are the perfect summer drink as well. But if you're in a packed place, you shouldn't bother ordering one. Takes too long to make. They say a proper mojito should be hand muddled Should include
Yeah.
hand muddled limes and mint,
Yeah, it
plus
should.
whatever flavors you might be adding to it. They're a labor of love, and bartenders don't have time.
But if you now all this said, like if you're going to a place that's known for their cocktails, yes, you could still order it. But I think key here is don't be pissed off if it takes way longer than someone who ordered a beer next to you. Don't be pissed that yours is going to take 10, 15 minutes because they want to do it right. I went to like a cocktail bar, so I was excited. I'm like, I'm going to do like a handcrafted cocktail. It took 20 minutes.
Really?
But it was a great cocktail, but I thought that was probably my bad for ordering this fancy drink. I should have just said, fuck it, give me a Ryan diet. You know what I mean? Like, forget it.
I love riots. How much are they charging for a handmade cocktail these days?
Minimum, like 20.
$20.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I was outraged when my martini went over 10. Now they're charging 25 for my martini.
Yeah.
One of these days, I got to tell people how to make that. I've been saying that for a decade now. I'm never going to tell you.
Clearly.
I'm just going to keep dragging you along. I'm the Justin Trudeau of this podcast. I'm never going to fucking tell you.
You should do some of the style, like you should do a video.
A video.
Get your girlfriend to like film you making one time, and then boom, then you just reference that the whole time.
That's not a bad idea,
Not a bad
actually.
idea, right?
I'll get to that one. Maybe that'll be a summer project.
Stanley Tucci is great at that. He loves food and cocktails, so he'll just make these videos, and then you just save them when you want to make that cocktail.
How do you get that gig, by the way? Why, out of every performer out there, did they think Stanley Tucci? He's the guy who's got to show off Italy now that Bourdain's dead.
Yeah, he has. You know why? He truly has a passion for it. I think that's why. I think he's tried really hard to get it. He does it anyway. Like I said, he does it for fun. If you follow him on Instagram, I'm not sure if he's on TikTok, but he's on Instagram for sure. His wife will do that. His wife will follow him around the kitchen and he'll make various things, but it's the manner in which he does it. Because like Stanley Tucci doesn't care to be fast and quick. Like he's not like fucking Emeril Lagasse where he's tossing things around and he's like, so I like this one because you got to char it just right. And then he takes his fucking sweet ass time, but he's such an he's so good. I don't know what it is about him. Like I can't stop watching him. He's great.
Still with the top 10 drinks that you should not order in a busy bar, forget about the White Russian. They say not a lot of bars have heavy cream laying around, and if they do, you might not want to drink that.
Yeah. Oh, good call. I didn't think about that. Again, unless it's a specific cocktail bar, because I think those are out. This is like the average run-of-the-mill like restaurants. Even if they have it on the menu, beware.
Forget about the Bloody Mary or Caesar.
It is work, but it should be easy enough. Like anyone who's behind a bar, you should be able to figure that out pretty quickly.
Spicy margarita.
I love spicy margs though.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Let me see here. They say they are very Instagrammable, so you can understand why this drink flies off the shelf. But according to some of the executive bartenders that they spoke to, you should skip spicy margs in a busy bar. Instead, opt for a simple glass of wine or a specialized drink instead of a specialized drink that takes careful execution, which isn't feasible on a busy night.
Do you think these places should have like the Bartesian like I have at my place? You saw it in action.
Yeah,
they should
that's
just have one of
amazing.
those ready to go.
Yeah, that drink maker that you've got is awesome.
It just makes spicy margs in like a second. It's easy.
Are there good spicy ones too?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be like going into Starbucks and finding out they're making your coffee with a Keurig, by the way.
It's true.
I don't think
It's true.
the Bartesian is coming to bars anytime soon.
No.
Avoid anything with egg whites, they say.
Really?
You can get sick from egg whites,
Yeah.
even though they're creamy and foamy. Same as the heavy cream. You don't know how long that heavy cream or those eggs have been laying around.
Yep.
Skip the pina colada. I think every adult should, personally. There's a time and a place for a pina colada. That place is in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
On day one, it's your first, second, or third drink. This is one that you sit and drink in the morning at the pool bar before you crank into the beers and the heavy stuff. That's about the only time you drink a pina colada.
Yeah, it's a lot of sugar.
It's a ton of sugar.
That's why your head hurts the next day, by the way. Drinks like that.
Avoid caffeine cocktails. Whether it's an Irish coffee or an espresso martini, bartenders all seem to be in agreement. They aren't appropriate to be ordering in a busy bar. Just think of how long it takes for them to place those couple of coffee beans on top, for God's sake.
It's not that bad, is it?
It's not that bad.
I always do that as a starter. Like if I'm out with my girls and we're like having a night, I start with an espresso martini every time.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good start because it's got the caffeine in it, right? So you're like, yeah, I'm staying awake.
Your husband made me a fantastic espresso martini. It was really good.
Yeah.
Layered shots, don't bother.
Layered shots. Ugh.
Can I tell you, I love the pace of After 9. I can sit here and take a swig of coffee and not have to worry about dead air.
That's
This is
fine.
great.
Nobody cares.
Layered shots.
Layered
Apparently,
shots.
they require too much precision, multiple spirits. It's not quick and it's not easy.
Who's buying these at like an average? Like again, cocktails are special. Yeah, it's even if you're buying shots. Like imagine I'm like, hey Scott, I'm buying a round of shots. Would you ever accept it if I was like, it's layered shots? It depends what it is, I guess.
It
right?
does depend what it is. Some shots come layered. Some of them will layer on their own just because of the curdling.
That's you said the word. Ugh.
I'd like something with raw eggs and heavy cream.
No.
And personalized drinks. Bartenders explain that this question is the bane of their life. Oh, I should actually tell you what the question is. They say you should never, ever, ever think about requesting a personalized drink that you just thought up in a crowded nightclub. Bartenders explain they hate having to make your custom recipe that isn't written down. It's just you telling them, I want an ounce of tequila and an ounce of gin and an ounce of rum and an ounce of rye.
Splash pineapple juice and then garnish it with a maraschino cherry. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. No. You're getting a Coors Light, bitch. Stop it.
Hopefully that's helpful if you are heading out to the bars anytime soon. I haven't gone to a bar in a long time.
Yeah. What do you classify as bar? Like, because for me, saying bar, I mean like sitting up. So my husband and I like going to a bar when we have no kids, right? When we're doing our date night, I like sitting at a bar, and it's got a fancy place that I'd never fucking take my kids. That's going to the bar for me now. It's not a club, not dancing. It's just a bar. I just want a nice looking bar so I can sit there like fucking Jack Nicholson in The Shining and watch Lloyd make me a goddamn cocktail. Like that's what I want.
I've got a bar behind my house. It would be my local. The UK does this right. Everybody's got a bar that's close to them. They call it their local, and that's where they go regularly for a couple of beers. I've tried a few times to do that, but going out more than a couple of times in a month is turning out to be very expensive.
It is, yeah. It does add up.
So when I do go, it's usually just for a couple of pints of beer. But God, do I ever love people watching. Holy shit. It's right across from a courthouse. And the people that wander in and out of that place, it's fucking magic.
They probably come right from one right into another.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Perfect.
It's really, really good. While we're talking alcohol, though, I do want to play something for you. Jason Momoa did an interview just the other day, and he was with his partner, and they were talking about their new vodka. Jason Momoa, vodka. Now, I'm going to assume that he doesn't know how to make vodka. No. This is an endorsement type deal.
It's a celebrity brand, you know.
Mealy vodka is what it's called. Let's hear what it's all about. Oh, I should actually turn up the volume on this, though, shouldn't I? Fuck,
sure.
Scott. Get it together here. Jesus. Okay, Jason Momoa talking about his new vodka.
At first, I was like, why the hell are we making vodka? It was his great idea.
About 8.5 years ago, Jay and I sitting around having dinner, we decided we want to do something together, just he and I. And we were like, what should we make? And we're like, let's make liquor. Sounded fun. And
vodka to us was just broken, you know? It was treated like an ingredient. It wasn't treated like a spirit. But to make a sippable vodka at affordable luxury, it's like that was a hard thing to make.
Our water is the only water source on earth we've ever found without any sodium in it. So there's a really beautiful sweet note at the end of our vodka because there's no salt blocking the sugar. So it allows our grains that we grow up in Montana to all come through.
I think it's wonderful to make something that you're making with your best friend. Everything that I've done, he's had his hand in something creatively. This is my soulmate, and we make things together.
Okay, quick question. Do you believe a word of that?
Not really.
No.
I mean, but I'm out at vodka. I can't do vodka. I think I'm allergic to vodka, actually.
What?
Yeah. I think I'm like straight up. I think I'm allergic to vodka.
Fuck happened? I've seen you drink a lot of vodka.
No, I usually rye is it's the only hard
that's
alcohol
right.
I can drink. Yeah. It truly is. Vodka, I literally break out into hives. It's like I'm definitely allergic to it. Yeah. So I don't really drink it anymore anyway.
I just don't believe Jason Momoa knew that much about making vodka when he just walked into the kitchen one day and said, let's make up a batch of liquor. I just don't feel like that happened that way. Why don't you just say the truth? Like the company created a vodka. They came to me and said, we'll say it's Jason Momoa's vodka. And they paid me a shit ton of money. And now I come on TV shows and talk about it and I get a royalty.
Yeah. I know. I wish a lot of these celebrities would just be honest. Like, you know what? I don't even fucking like it. I think it tastes like trash. But hopefully you buy it because I get a little piece of it. If you do.
That's the kind of honesty that would be great, right?
Yeah, I like that. Then there's the ones who like truly stand by it. Like I think about The Rock's tequila, like Terramana. He obviously he wants you to buy it. Yes, he makes money off of it, but he truly does like it. I believe that. I believe he's a tequila guy, and I believe he drinks that often as he can on his particular diet.
Yesterday, Apple confirmed they're diving into the artificial intelligence race with the help of ChatGPT. They announced what they call Apple Intelligence. But is it really Apple Intelligence? Because they're teaming up with OpenAI and ChatGPT. They admitted they're behind in the race to perfect AI. So they're going to use ChatGPT and OpenAI as embedded into the operating system. And they say that will make Siri smarter and more helpful.
Right, which sounds fine when you just hear it that way. It sounds like, oh, cool, so it's just going to get smarter. But we do got to say, there's people like warning users against it. And Elon Musk is one of those people very openly yesterday after this announcement saying there's no fucking way any of his employees are coming near work with an Apple phone if this is the case.
Yeah. We know it listens to you all the time. Now embedded into the operating system is artificial intelligence. How long until somebody with nefarious intentions gets somebody's phone recording their voice or recording a coworker or a manager's voice?
Yeah.
And before you know it, that voice is making phone calls to accounting saying, I need you to transfer me $1 million because I got to buy this or that. There's all kinds of different ways that this could go south. Maybe it's being overly cautious, but I don't blame Elon
I don't think
right
so.
now.
I don't think it's being overly cautious. I think you have every right when you own these mega billion-dollar companies to wonder if this could impact your business in a negative way. I mean, you don't even sell phones. You don't care to sell cell phones. You know what I mean? It's not about that. This is about safety. And if they're picking up information, if they're listening, and like you said, if the technology is so easy to duplicate things now, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. By the way, he says that the workers, if this continues, which it is apparently, can continue to own those phones, but they got to have them at the door in one of those pouches locked up.
Be like going to a comedy show where they make you put your phone in a pouch?
Exactly, yeah. So he said that he has every plan to do that if this is the case. Apple hasn't responded to concerns like this, but he's not the only one. Elon's just one of the biggest voices, of course, talking about it, but there's a lot of others who are going, I don't know.
Am I the only one that thinks this is really lazy of Apple? I mean, Google, Microsoft, even Samsung went out and created their own version of AI. Apple's just teaming up with OpenAI and ChatGPT and embedding it into the operating system. I don't really think that they've done much in the way of developing AI here.
Well, and they're just trusting it. And I think that's the key for a lot of people. They're just going, oh, you know what you're doing with AI. Cool, put that in our phones. It's actually kind of surprising Apple's even doing that. They hopefully have their hand in it a lot and not just trusting OpenAI to run ChatGPT through it, to run everything through their operating system. I don't know. I understand that there are some things that are quite scary when it comes to AI. That's one of them. So I get it. I'm concerned as well. I'm concerned as well, and I'm keeping my eye on it. Because if I got to switch to a Samsung, I will. I don't give a shit.
I'm still trying to figure out how AI benefits me. I still can't think of anything that I do on a regular basis that I think AI would be helpful for. So far, I haven't discovered anything. Maybe they'll come out with some neat thing when they launch this new operating system for Apple, and who knows, maybe it'll remind me of shit that I forget regularly or tell me places I'm supposed to be. But I can't really imagine it gets much better.
Yeah. Is it necessary considering the things that we're being cautioned about? Maybe not, right? Is it worth it? Is my question. So I don't know if the answer to that is yes. I would have to know more about it, and I think we all should take an interest in it.
Yesterday, we got a new report on the jails here in Ontario. They're quite full, Kat.
Are they?
Yeah. This is an interesting one. I learned a lot about jail in Ontario because we have federal prisons and we have provincial prisons. And frankly, I didn't understand the difference because the criminal code is federal. So apparently, the people who are in provincial jails right now are people that are being held because they were not given bail. I got to wonder how bad you have to fuck up to not get bail these days.
Yeah.
They give bail to people who shot somebody. So if you're in jail awaiting trial and didn't get bail, you would be in a provincial institution. There are also people serving some sentences, and people who were given 2 years less a day will serve those in a provincial jail. And apparently over the last 18 months, there's been a skyrocketing amount of people in that situation. 81% of inmates in provincial jails are currently awaiting trial. That means they're presumptively innocent. People accused of a crime but not given bail. Okay. The latest numbers say there's an average of 8,889 people in provincial jails. Capacity is 7,848. There's more than 1,000 people on average more than capacity in jail. And I don't even feel bad about it. I don't. The jails are operating at about 113% capacity right now. That is until we build more, which Premier Ford has vowed to do. He said we will build as many jails as we need for the bad guys. That's all well and good, but we can't even get condos finished at this rate. So I don't know how long it's going to take to build more jails, but I assume they'll count those as beds under the new system.
I'm probably.
Oh, you can't afford rent? All you got to do is punch somebody.
Well, you know what? That's good. That was going to be my question, because I know there's sensitivities toward this, but my question would be, are we able to know how many of these people have an address?
Good question. I don't know.
Because I think we all know that does truly happen. There are people that will go to jail and purposely commit crimes, not necessarily hardcore, felonies, but they'll commit crimes just enough to get their asses housed, fed, clothed, showered. It's free
room and board
being the key thing here. So I am curious if there's an uptick based on how the economy is doing.
I have to think there is.
I would think so too. But would they release that information to us? Because that would make them look real fucking bad. Like, oh guys, we're fucking swarmed with people, but 43% of them are unhoused currently, but they're in jail. Well, we all know what's fucking happening here.
We all know. You're absolutely right. Actually, we just got some numbers on that. Waterloo Regional Police yesterday put out some numbers, and it's going to be presented to the Police Services Board tomorrow, who wanted to know how much is it costing to police the homeless population just in one part of Ontario.
Here we go.
Waterloo Region. Officers spent 17,887 hours responding to calls for service in the immediate area around shelters and encampments in the last year. Almost 18,000 hours. That translates to the equivalent of 9 full-time cops doing nothing but dealing with homeless issues. There is just over, in 1 year, 10,000 calls related to homelessness in Waterloo Region. There has been, though, a 129% increase in chronic homelessness since January 2020. We're not making any progress on building houses, though. I mean, with the interest rates the way they are, every day I hear more and more stories about builders that are putting their project on ice because they just don't have the financing, or they don't want to carry it, or there's no guarantees anybody's going to buy it.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
It's messed up. I think that, and the right now real estate is flooded with those condos. Already.
So many of them.
You guys, if you didn't hear it, when we had Tony Johal on, a month or so ago, Tony, realtor in the KW and beyond, though, he advertises a lot in the GTA as well. But he was saying this was going to happen, and it's already started. It's just getting started. That they're going to go for a dime a dozen. I'm telling you.
If you own a condo now and you bought it as an investment, maybe you bought it in the last 3 or 4 years. You probably paid top dollar for that condo. Yeah. How much is that condo going to be worth when there's tens of thousands more of them on the market?
And everyone wants out so they can get a home. And the homes, the semis or even the fully detached, whatever, are harder and harder to come by in those areas too.
How many people are viciously trying to sell right now to avoid having to pay the capital gains?
That's right too. That's right. And that's why there's an influx as well. No doubt about it.
There's so many different things that are all up in the air right now, and it's anxiety inducing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have an investment right now, I don't know what the smart thing to do is. I mean, used to be you could invest it in real estate and you'd be fine. But with interest rates the way they are, not so sure that's a good investment. You want to keep your money in the bank? A lot of people do, for sure, but there's a lot of people that I follow online, their feeds, and smart individuals that have a lot to do with the economy that are really worried about the banks becoming in a real bad situation if enough people default on their mortgage all at once. We could end up in another financial crisis, and frankly, the last place you want your money, if that happens, is in an actual bank. Scary shit, Kat.
Very scary, Scott. Very scary. It's the uncertainty, too, that has people just anxiety through the roof, and I get it. We get it.
Speaking of the capital gains tax, they introduced the bill yesterday, June the 10th. Today, they're going to vote on the bill. It comes into effect on June 25th. And whether it is passed in the House of Commons or not, because this is their last week before summer vacation, if it doesn't get done this week, it's not getting done until next October when they reconvene the House. Either way, though, they say it's going to kick in on the 25th. And frankly, I don't understand how they can do that without giving people notice so they can sell if they want to sell. If you've got, investments that are going to put you over the threshold where you've got to pay now the higher rate of capital gains, they should have at least given people some notice that this is coming. You can't bring the bill in 2 weeks before it takes effect. We don't even do that for an increase to the excise tax or liquor taxes. Come on, guys. It's not fair to people. I'm really worried that people are going to get screwed here. But we won't spend much time on that. StatsCan, latest job survey is out. The hourly wage average in Canada went up again last month. StatsCan says the average worker is now making $34.94 an hour. $1.69 an hour more than the average wage last year.
Oh, over 1 year. Okay.
Where? I mean, I get that there's a lot of people on salary, and if you break it down to hourly, maybe that's what it is.
Right.
But I don't see too many places that are like minimum wage type jobs that are offering above and beyond minimum wage.
And what is minimum wage in Ontario again? Can you help me with that?
I know you're
usually, if anyone, you'll at least know when the increases were, where the last increase was. Was it last year, the last increase for minimum wage?
Feel like it was in the fall, and I feel like it's going up again this fall.
I can look it up quickly. But anyway, I was curious what the gap was at. So I think increasing October 1st, 2024 will be $17.20. So currently it's $16.55. So that comes into effect in October of this year, $17.20. So roughly, let's just say $17 is the minimum wage, and now the average is over $30.
The average person is making over $34.
Okay.
Even $34 an hour, full-time hours, you're still below what it actually costs to live in Ontario.
Well, that was going to be my question. What should the living wage be at? If you had to put a number on it, what would the living wage be at?
So that's such a great question. And I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for someone in Ottawa, any party, any one of them, to show that they're not completely disconnected from the public. I just want a number. Chrystia Freeland, who's imposing this capital gains increase, she lives in the wealthiest neighborhood in Toronto. She has a car and driver. She has a private jet that she can get on at any time. She has a lot of perks in life. And this is the one who's making decisions. This is the one who says 0.13% of Canadians are going to be affected by the capital gains changes, when people in the middle class are like, hello, no, it's a lot of us. It really is a tax on the middle class. And I don't think that the finance minister understands how much it costs to live. I don't think they get it. I want somebody to throw out a number, because they'll refer to StatsCan says the median income in Canada is $70,000 a year. The median household income in Canada is $90,000 a year. Okay, but what does it cost to live here? I'll bet you that if you added it up, your hydro bill, your gas bill, your internet, your cell phone, your rent, if you added it all up, I think you got to make six figures to live in Ontario, minimum.
And it depends on the part of Ontario you're living.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Like, if you look at, by the way, there's something called Ontario Living Wage Network, and I don't know what exactly they do. However, they have listed rates. Are you familiar with them?
I am, yeah. I've usually found them to be a little activist, but I'm curious to know what number they calculated.
I think it sounds low. They are listing for 2020, so they can only go by year. So for 2023, GTA was $25.05 an hour.
Bullshit.
Where can you live in the GTA livable wage for $25.05 an hour? Where?
It's not realistic. And somebody should calculate that. The finance minister should be able to know off the top of her head, in order to live in the most populous areas of our country, where 80% of the population lives, in order to live there, you need to make $100,000 a year. And I'll bet you that if she was forced to give a number, although she doesn't answer many questions, but if she was forced to give a number, I'm thinking she'd say somewhere around 50 or 60. I think she is way off the mark when it comes to actually how much it costs to live. Same with the province.
Yeah.
We give out this disability fund, and it's supposed to help out people who are living with disabilities and so on and so forth. It's a piss in the ocean compared to how much it
Unbelievable.
costs to live.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, this seems so off to me. $20 in Guelph, Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and up north, $18.65. Yeah. Anyway, this seems like baloney to me.
Get out of here. I mean, these.
Again,
Hey,
I don't know what they do or how they calculate what they calculate. That said, so I'm not sure if there's more to it, but that's just what I read up on.
I want to play for you something that came up yesterday. Our prime minister was meeting with the mayors. It was a collection of mayors across Canada, and he was talking to them about a number of different things, mainly his typical talking points. But it's what happened at the end that has a lot of people talking. Listen to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
We're dropping inflation and we're being there for Canadians, not with cuts and austerity, and we're going to keep doing that. And on the carbon price, it actually puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadian families. That's a parliamentary budget officer who says that. It's absolutely true. We're dropping inflation.
Did you hear that little giggle at the end? Ha ha! Ha! What does he think? He's the goddamn Joker? Ha ha! The mayors of Canada booing the prime minister, calling him out on a lie that 8 out of 10 Canadians are better off paying the carbon tax. Even the mayors are booing the prime minister in public. And that was I want to play that little giggle one more time. I might even throw this on the show log.
We're dropping inflation.
Let me hear it. What a smug fucking thing to say. Oh, by the way, back to Tesla for a second. You were talking about Elon probably won't allow iPhones in his facilities if they go ahead with adding ChatGPT and OpenAI. Elon Musk did ask a question on X yesterday. Would you buy a Tesla smartphone? Your information would never be collected. You get free Starlink internet anywhere in the world. Free Twitter X premium included with your phone. So you get the premium Twitter, free internet, and your information is always private. Would you buy a Tesla phone?
I would consider. I'm always the type, though, like, you guys try first and let me know how you like it. I've always been that type. I'm not jumping on it. I'm not ordering a truck. I'm not ordering a fucking car, and I'm not ordering a cell phone before we even get a real look at it. But if the opportunity came my way to buy one of the first ones that comes out, I'm doing it. Just because I look at how much people are getting for, like, original Apple phones now, and I think, should have done that.
Kat, today is June the 11th. It is National Corn on the Cob Day. Thumbs up or down to corn on the cob?
Thumbs up. Corn
Really?
on the cob's good. Good. Listen how I said that. Oh, the corn on the cob's good.
You should be on the Food Network.
That's all. That'd be the show. Just, I like corn on the cob. You like it, right? Can most people agree? I understand it's messy. Can we put the mess aside, though? Like, I get it. It's not the most clean thing to eat. You get the shit in your teeth, for sure. That aside, it's fine.
Not everybody's good at making it, though. That's part of the problem.
Why? What do you mean by that?
Corn is supposed to be cooked a certain way, and a lot of people don't get that. They just throw it in a pot for 20 minutes and pull it out and put it on the plate. You've got to do more to it, and you should also season corn on the cob. It can be
you can, yeah,
an amazing thing, but not enough people take the time and spend the time on the details. So the 10 most beloved foods list includes corn on the cob. Number 10, 79% approval rating from people who took this survey. Tied for first. Man, we are a carb nation. Mashed potatoes, fries, 86% approval.
Those are the most ordered items ever on any survey that they ever do, like Uber Eats, like you name it, is fries.
Hamburgers are number 3.
Yeah.
Followed by cheeseburgers at number 4. Get this, 85% approval for hamburger, only 83% approval for cheeseburger. 82% approval for grilled cheese.
Oh, grilled cheese is good.
Comfort food. 82% said steak is a thumbs up.
Yes.
Hash browns, 82%. Fried chicken, 82%. Steak and fries, 81%. And corn on the cob made the top 10. Also in the list, though, maybe this will be a dinner inspiration for you. Apple pie, tater tots. You don't like apple pie,
Nope.
right? Hot fruit, not good for you.
Nope.
You don't like the hot fruit?
No.
Ribs, turkey sandwich, a hot dog, and Sloppy Joe made the top 20.
Sloppy Joe. Okay.
I said we would talk a little bit about Father's Day. Have you got something in mind for your husband, or are you going to let the girls decide what to give him this year?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be like, do whatever. Like, I mean, that's kind of what I did for Mother's Day. He could do whatever he wants. The kids always come home with stuff, so they already started coming home with things for him. So I just kind of wrapped it up.
You
So
did
he's
wrap
good.
it? The stuff from school, you wrapped it?
Yeah, I
Good.
do.
Atta
I
girl. Way to
do.
put the thought in. That's
Yeah,
good.
Just to
Lovely.
have that all done, and then I'll see my dad. I've seen my dad like several times though. I'm gonna say it's my daughter's birthday weekend too. So like we get together. We're getting together like every day.
Speaking of that new home ec class that they're going to begin teaching, is it this September or next? I can't remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, it might be next. They're usually kind of slow on that.
Yeah, it usually takes them a year. Well, they got to go through and train all the teachers, and then
yeah,
the teachers have
it's
got
usually at least a year out. Yeah.
So anyway, that just occurred to me though. I mean, we're going to teach financial literacy in schools, which is so
Very
important.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they're doing that. But they're also going to incorporate a modernized version of home ec. And while we don't necessarily need to spend a whole lot of time going through some of the things that they used to teach in home ec, like here's how you wash your laundry on a washboard and hang it out on the line. We don't really do much of that anymore, but gift wrapping. I'd be okay if they allocated a half day to teaching kids how to gift wrap.
Just like
everybody should know how to wrap a gift.
Yeah. Okay. I don't hate that. That's good.
When it comes to what dad wants for Father's Day, gift card was number one. Specifically, Amazon was number one, followed by Lowe's, followed by Home Depot. 56% of dads say they would very much like to get one of those three gift cards.
That's probably what my dad's gonna get.
It's a
Perfect.
stereotype. But
Perfect.
it's so fucking true.
It is a stereotype, but yeah, it's like try to get anything else out of him. Try to figure out what else he could possibly want or need.
Something food or drink related, clothing or shoes, electronics. That's such a broad thing, electronics. Could you narrow it down a little bit here, guys? Tickets to a concert or sporting event. Sorry, Dad, too expensive these days. Blame Ticketmaster.
I also don't like. I've done it before where I've like, here's tickets to see this because I know at least you like this band or whatever. But then isn't it always one of those things like, oh, so then we have to go out this day? Like, what if you had other plans to do something, or what if you don't really want to go out? I always like those ones are always meh for me.
Sporting goods. Get Dad a new baseball glove or something.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Golf. I mean, I don't know. My husband's into golf, so Golf Town it would be.
Hey, I mean, I'm going to speak on behalf
do
of
Golf
most
Town?
dads here and say that, yeah, if you get Dad some new golf
Sport
clubs, he's
Check
probably going to be
even?
happy.
Like places like Sport Check cover a bunch of different things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sport Check's expensive. I don't like going in there anymore.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Do they have sales? They used to have good sales sometimes on clothes and things. Not anymore.
Maybe occasionally. Books or music, something for around the house. Dad says in his top 10 this year, first time it's made the list, self-care stuff like a massage.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be great. Jewelry rounds out the top 10.
My dad is so not a massage guy. You have to know the guy. You have to know the person though. My dad would never use that.
Would you like to know what Dad doesn't want for Father's Day?
Sure.
The one thing you might not want to do for him, the post says, is a tribute on social media. Only 1 in 10 dads say it's important to them that their kids honor them or memorialize them on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever else.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that dad said that doesn't fucking matter because it's more for you. I think when people do that, they do it for themselves. And not that there's anything wrong with that. By all means, if you feel like doing it because you want to show your followers, like, this is my dad and I love my dad, or my husband's the best dad, this is him with our kids, he's amazing. That's fine. But know that you're doing it for you. You're not actually doing it for them, I think. Anyway, because I think what matters is what you say to them that day, what you do for them that day, privately, not in front of a bunch of followers.
Canada and the UK have teamed up to investigate the data breach from October at 23andMe. We must have seen this coming, right?
It was one of the reasons why people didn't want to do it.
Everybody shipped their DNA over to fucking Ireland. You spit in the tube and send it to Ireland for some fucking reason.
And look,
now the hackers have got your data.
Are they gonna
and your DNA?
But it's so funny though, because when that first came out, it's one of those things like they're gonna clone me. They're gonna fucking clone me, and like, now it's like, yeah, they might. I don't know. Are you worth something? They could, if the spit's still good.
I told you this was gonna happen, and it did.
What would you, by the way, okay, so when it comes to the breach, is there more on the breach, by the way? Like, do you have more there? Or is that the basic story?
They're going to look into whether 23andMe had proper safeguards to protect the highly sensitive information it handles and whether the company adequately notified regulators and the affected individuals.
I'd like to know that too. I'm curious. Oh, I didn't do 23andMe full. You didn't? Did you do that?
No, I did the other
Ancestry.
one. Ancestry.
Yes. They sent us one.
Oh,
full
that's right.
disclosure, they
Yeah.
sent us a kit, and we both fucking did it, didn't we? And I did it. But in doing Ancestry, what I do know is there's a lot of information about you that does come to light with it, and relatives are automatically found. So imagine like your passwords or something about your life all had to do with those people around you. They have all that info with 23andMe too. So it could potentially be dangerous. And isn't that the one that tells you whether you have health risks or not?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
you're
one?
predisposed for fucking diabetes.
Yeah.
You had predisposure for
dementia.
dementia.
And all that shit.
Oh,
Yeah. Like, tell me something I don't know. I already know that. I don't need that to prove it. I got a family fucking tree.
Did we all fall for a scam? Because it was so trendy for a couple of years there. People were giving them as Christmas gifts and, I got to see who I'm related to from the 1500s and shit. So everybody sent in their DNA. And now somewhere in the world, there's this massive worldwide collection of people's DNA. And maybe it is what they said it was. We'll just try and link you with your history. Or maybe they're going to do something with everybody's DNA now that they've got it.
I don't know, but here's what I will tell you that I find very interesting. So I did the Ancestry thing, as we mentioned. I'm in there twice, by the way. They sent me the kit. I mailed in the spit. Send the kit, mail the spit. Nothing happened. It didn't show up. So they sent me another kit and I mailed the spit. But the spit that I did initially eventually came back to them. So there's 2 profiles on me. So it shows I have a twin in there. Isn't that hilarious? Like, no joke. It's like it shows up, your twin is, but it's my profile. So anyway, but the interesting thing is, it changes. So I don't know if you've gone on your Ancestry profile anytime recently.
No.
So what happens is with the change of technology, since they still have your initial DNA in the system, with changes and upgrades, they say, of course, to the technology of it, they can actually pinpoint your DNA and where you come from with more accuracy. So it's kind of, it steered me in the wrong direction. I thought I was quite a bit German when I first did it. But the accuracy changed quite a bit. And now I'm not as German as I thought, which, by the way, I never knew I was at all German until I did Ancestry. So that part was interesting. But I found out it was like my great-great-great-grandfather who was half German or some shit like that. But I was like, oh, fuck. Some of my lineage is German? Like, what? I better stop talking shit about them. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like, and then next thing you know, I went on there when they had like a change of system and an upgrade to the system, and it was less. Oh. And I thought, that's fucking weird. How did I go from being this percentage of that to that? The meat and potatoes of it is still the same. But it's just little things that change. It's interesting. You should hop back on and see if anything changed.
But why do they want it?
Why do you want it? I mean, what I always thought was it really was about your own curiosity. That's how they did market it, right?
Yes,
You should know your backstory.
Sure.
You should know your history. You should know who you're related to. Or for some people, it was really just am I actually related to this person? I know people who, I think I've talked about this on the pod. I know people whose lives completely got turned upside down by this because they found out their dad wasn't their dad.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've all at least heard a story, but I know somebody who kind of got estranged from the family because they realized, fuck, you're not my full sibling. I have other half siblings over here, actually. So it also fucked with people a lot. It really did. But was it meant to be or not? I don't know.
I just kind of wish we got those stories. Even if they kept them anonymous. Like, hey, this person sent in a kit and found out, oh, fuck, your dad's not your dad.
Great stories. I mean, God, not when it doesn't fully impact you personally. It's very interesting. But yes, I know of that happening, by the way. And now they're good. I mean, the cool thing is, with the person that I know that found some shit out, is they've got a new relationship with new family members they didn't know existed. And they've created and they're good. Everyone's good. So, but it did cause strain on the other side of the family. You know what I mean? So, take the good with the bad, I guess.
2 quick things, then we got to go. Good news, the number of forest fires burning here in Ontario way down this year without people setting them intentionally. There's been nearly 100 forest fires in Ontario so far this year. This time last year, double that. There are currently just 2 forest fires burning in Ontario, both near the James Bay coast. Nowhere near here. Good. Hey, that's great. People stop burning them down. They stop catching fire from lightning, apparently, and boom, that's good. You know what I don't understand about forest fires is I was doing a bonfire in my backyard this weekend, and it took a long time to get the wood lit and get the fire going, and it occurred to me, how the fuck do forest fires start when it takes this long to get one piece of wood burning? It's weird.
It depends. Depends how dry it is.
or how much gas they poured on it.
Yep.
Jurors in the Hunter Biden gun trial are deliberating right now whether or not he is guilty of federal firearms charges. This is over a gun that the U.S. president's son bought when prosecutors say he was in the throes of a crack cocaine addiction. Jurors deliberated for less than an hour before they said, fuck it, we'll start over again tomorrow at the federal courthouse in Delaware yesterday afternoon. I really don't know how he defends this because we know he bought a gun. There's paperwork for it. He can say he wasn't on crack cocaine, but there's also a book that admits he was on crack cocaine.
Yeah.
That's against the law. He's facing up to 25 years in prison.
Does Joe understand all this?
Not likely, Kat. Man,
Joe, your son's in trouble again.
I still don't think he's going to make it to the election. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I don't know if he's going to make it to the election. I've seen him at a couple of campaign events lately where he's getting lost on a stage. There was
Someone pulled him off. Was it his wife?
Yeah, his wife pulled him off the other day.
The stage.
Like, hey,
Do they know why?
Because he was lost. The stage was only 8 feet by 8 feet. He got fucking lost. He was turning around like, where do I go? It's messed up. He's in charge of the nukes.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him too. Anybody with, he's got it. Why won't they admit it? Why can't the people in America, it's none of our business, kind of our business. Why can't Americans?
Well, the nukes. This is why it's our business.
Yeah. You know, I mean.
The nukes you mentioned, that kind of makes it our business. One's got to be pointing this way.
Joe Biden is down to 37% approval in America. 37% is much lower than most presidents.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is, do you other 37% not see what's going on? Or do you not care that this guy gets lost on a stage that's 8 feet by 8 feet wide? The guy is basically early onset something that's fucking up his judgment. He's confused. He's lost. We're dragging this guy everywhere when he should probably be in bed at 8 and having Applebee's at 4.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be running the free world. And 37% of the country actually wants him to get another 4 years. I don't understand that. Hey, it's okay to not like Trump. It's okay to be a Democrat. But how do you get behind this particular candidate? Look at the fucking guy.
No, and there's such a lack of options there. And I get it because we've all been there. Lack of options really is.
Yes, ma'am.
But basically all you have to do is be a Trump hater to just be like, well, fuck it. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
Have a great day, everybody. We will catch you tomorrow with another After 9.
Bye.
Kia is recalling 463,000 SUVs because the front seats can catch on fire. Kia recalled the cars, then Kia owners were like, hey, why don't you come and get it?
Scientists have confirmed that a family discovered a rare T-Rex fossil while hiking in the North Dakota Badlands that turned out to be a rare juvenile skeleton of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which scientists are calling Teen Rex. They determined that it's an adolescent, partly from its size, but mostly from the fact that even when you were talking directly to it, it wouldn't take off its headphones.
The U.S. Coast Guard has announced it has seized nearly 5,000 pounds of cocaine from a Florida port, a huge relief for all the nearby boats carrying 10,000 pounds.